Hey guys, welcome to Tech Notebook, and in this video I will be showing you how to make a buzzer beep using an IR sensor and an Arduino by putting my hand in front of the IR sensor like this. So let's get started. Okay, so here are all the things that we will need for this tutorial. The first thing we will need is an Arduino Uno. We will also need a breadboard, and in this tutorial I will be using a mini breadboard. We will need some jumper wires. We'll also need some wires with alligator clips on them. We'll need an IR sensor. And finally, we will need a buzzer. Okay, so now let's get started with the wiring. So let's first start off by wiring up our IR sensor. So if we look on the IR sensor, we see that there is a VCC, there is a ground, and there is an out. So the VCC will go to 5 volt, the ground will go to ground, and the out will go to pin 12 on the Arduino. So let's just plug in our IR sensor into the breadboard and make sure that each of these pins are on separate rows. So we'll plug this in like that right here. Now, facing the back of the IR sensor, we will first take our red jumper wire and we will plug it into the VCC row. In my case, it's the leftmost one. And we will take this and we will plug it into 5 volt. So now we're going to take a green wire and we are going to plug it into the middle pin, and in this case it's my ground. You'll need to take that ground and plug it into the ground on the Arduino like that. And finally we will take our yellow wire, plug that into the out, which is the rightmost pin, and we will go and plug that into pin 12. Okay, so now we've finished wiring up the Arduino, and now we need to wire up the buzzer. So what we'll do is, since we have loose ends on the end of our wires on the buzzer, we're going to take our wires with alligator clips. We'll connect the green wire to the ground, or the black wire on the buzzer, and we will take our white alligator clip wire and we will connect that to the red wire on the buzzer, which is our live. So then now what we're going to do is we'll take a white wire and we will plug that into pin 7 on our Arduino. And we will plug that white wire into the white wire that's on the buzzer. Plug it in like that. And we will take a black wire. We'll connect that black wire to the green wire on the buzzer. And we will take that and connect it to ground. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some tape and I'm just going to cover the buzzer so it doesn't clip the recording. And now what we can do is we need to take our wire that goes to our computer and we will need to go and plug it right into the Arduino like this. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to open up the Arduino Ide and we need to create a new file. So now inside this new file, what we need to do is we need to create a few variables. The first variable we need to create is the infrared sensor. And the way we do that is by typing in int IR pin equals, and we connected it to pin 12. We'll just set that to 12. So now we need to create another variable for the pin for our buzzer, and that is on pin 7. So int buzzer pin. Set that equal to 7. And now we need to initialize those pins. So in our setup loop, what we need to do is just type in pin mode IR pin, and that would be an input. And we need to do pin mode again. And this time we need to do buzzer pin. And that will be an output. So now we can go down into our loop and just say digital write and we will need to write to the buzzer pin, so we'll just type in buzzer pin, and we will need to get the state of our IR sensor. So the way we do that is by typing in digital read, and we will need to read from the IR pin and feed that into this digital write function. Okay, so let's stop right there. I didn't do the best job of explaining this code, so let me explain it to you right now. So these lines in the setup function tell the Arduino that pin 12 is an input pin, and we need to read the state of that pin. This pin is connected to the out pin on the IR sensor. We're also telling the Arduino that pin 7 is an output pin, and we can set the state of that pin in the code. So this pin right here is connected to the buzzer. And now when we look down into the loop function, we see that there is a digital write function. So this function controls the state of pin 7, which is controlling the buzzer. The first parameter of this function is the pin that we will be controlling, pin 7 in this case. The second parameter is the pin state. So in here, we are passing in the value of the IR sensor by using the digital read function. The digital read function only takes in one argument, which is the pin to read from, and in here we passed in pin 12. So now that you know that, we can proceed to the rest of this tutorial. But the only issue is we want the buzzer to turn on when our hand is in front of the sensor. And this will tell the buzzer to turn on when your hand is not in front of the sensor. And what we need to do to fix that is just add an exclamation point in front of it, which will basically flip whatever the digital read outputs. So in this case, if our hand was in front of the sensor, it would return false, but adding this exclamation point right here would make it true, and that would turn on the buzzer pin. So now we can just run this, but first we need to add a semicolon on the end. We need to hit upload. And now it has uploaded to the Arduino. So now, if we put our hand in front of the sensor, like this, you hear the buzzer go off. Let's do that again. The moment we take our hand off, the buzzer stops. If this worked for you, you've successfully completed this tutorial. Thanks for watching, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.